This is a Poeartistry Gold Moment by the author James Lynch.
Hello, perceptive reader. Before I take a break for the morning, I wanted to do this Poeartistry Gold Moment that will help complete several schedulings that I will be doing over the weekend. This is just what I want to share with you, okay? And this was inspired by some statements made by a very well-known singer who has a range of all the, I don't know whether you call them octets or what have you, but it's practically not a range that she cannot hit or sing. And so with that being said, I remember over the years, this well-known singer used to just sometimes out of the blue would just tell her fans that she loved them or this and that. And it just would just come out of the blue all sorts of times in the morning, afternoon, evening, and late at night. Just out the blue would do it. And you could tell it wasn't scheduled. It just happened. So with that being said, I recently just saw a statement made by one of the fan support sites or what have you, that's most likely approved by this singer. And what was stated is the only person you can fix is yourself. Okay, the only person you can fix is yourself or what have you. And over the years, I've seen and heard that statement said in a variety of ways for different reasons, because sometimes a person have stated that when someone was actually bogarting into their life on such a level, and they were just telling that person to get out of their life. You see, get out of my business. And then other times it was stated as if some well-meaning persons who really weren't nosy, but they just had a different view or understanding of helping people, that they really looked at certain individuals as if they were just a project, you see. So instead of just looking at them as, hey, let's, have coffee together or what have you, they would be more into what I call psychiatric mode of just analyzing everything that this person does and says. And sometimes it is just regular human nature of just talking and expressing themselves. Let me make a side note on that. That's one of the things that creators have to be able to do. They have to. And see, and the way that people who do make music, art, etc., poetry, write, and things of that nature, when you really look at their process at times, if you really want to overanalyze, they may call it critical thinking, I call it hypercritical, of what that person is doing. Of course, you can find anything and just say that that person is insane or what have you, even though that's not true at all. But with that being said, let me get back to that statement about you can't fix nobody except but yourself or what have you. And so what I like to relate again is this. We have been designed to not only love one another, but to encourage one another when persons need it. And even though I told you there's been so many different methods today where a lot of persons have now focused more on just trying to make life hard on an individual, at times thinking they're teaching them a lesson and this and that, I'm here to still tell you before God again today that I think they're absolutely wrong in that. I truly feel I've seen enough and know enough, even about God, my relationship, that no. And I told you, it always applies to, or it boils down to really situations where I told you other people sign up for this or that. This is a true story that I'm going to tell you, and already, boy, this I didn't realize I was going to tell you this, but it did cross my mind over the past 24 hours that there have actually been individuals who, respect authority and what humility means, to just, when somebody is in the role, uh, and especially if they're carrying it out the role righteously, that, you just, once again, go along with the program, in this way or that way, because they're not going against God's laws, you see, or anything of that nature. Same thing applies in business, but on a different level. Well, there are sometimes individuals that feel another person may have potential in this way or that way. And so they will actually just put them in situations where they literally give them no choice, where they have to buck the system, because they know that that person really does believe in respecting the system. See, and so they'll put these persons in situations, I'm just going to say, where it's like, if they don't buck the system would totally kill them. And we know that's not right either. And so these persons come to realize, even from God, that no, when the system gets that bad, then the system loses its authority as well, to even tell, to implement certain laws or what have you, because they have disqualified themselves. And when systems work the way that they say on paper, you see those other persons that know I'm supposed to be voted out, etc., etc. But that's not the scope of really what I'm talking about here. What I want to conclude in saying about the statement, you can't fix anybody except but yourself, there is another way of really a lot of individuals look at, you can call them the friendship way of looking at things, is you don't look at your friend as if you're trying to fix them. You see, if your friend is up, you celebrate with them. If your friend is down, you try to lift them up. But it's not with this some type of something is seriously mentally wrong with them in this way or that way. And in the process of treating the person with tenderness or care, you see, it's through that warmth, that type of interaction, that actually ends up healing a lot of people. And it heals them from not only the deepest depths of depression, but even trauma in their lives that they may have experienced. Take care of yourself, perceptive reader.